Catherine from the Lady Critics Library, and you are here at my new channel, Miss Lady Critic, on YouTube to see me do a 5-minute review for Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen. I read Lock and Key a while ago, and by a while I mean several months. It is only the second Sarah Dessen book I have ever read, which is ridiculous because her books are awesome, and I own all of them. I just haven't read them all. It doesn't make any sense to me either. But anyway, so this book is about, what's her name? Ruby. I did remember that, and then I had to double check. So this is about Ruby. Ruby lives with her mother, and she thinks that her sister has just left and wants nothing to do with her, until her mother suddenly doesn't come back home, and she has to go and live with her sister and her sister's husband. And that's pretty much where our story starts. You find a bit more of Ruby's backstory about how her and her mother lived up until then, and what her mother was like, and how she was doing everything she could to keep her and her mother's life afloat, basically, while living in squalor. This kind of opened my eyes to something, and I'm going to share it with you. It was very interesting, because as Ruby is first living in the house where her and her mother were renting, obviously she didn't notice that the things around her were not as clean as they should have been, and that stuff wasn't working properly the way it should, and everything. And I found it very interesting that it took her going back to really see what she had been doing to herself. The way that it was addressed in the book, I thought was awesomely done. It definitely opened my eyes. I mean, I never would have thought of it like that, but I imagine it's what it's like for hoarders too. I mean, you start keeping a pile of newspapers here, a couple boxes there, and pretty soon you're walking on top of your dining room table because that's the only place that you can walk because the garbage is piled that high. But anyway, very small part of the book. So, majority of the book is about Ruby, and Ruby being able to let people into her life, because up until this point she has been trying to make sure that she keeps everything else outside of her home, because she is, rather embarrassed about her home life and her mother, and she doesn't want people knowing that things are as bad as she knows they are, and they're even worse than she likes to admit they are. In your typical Sarah Dessen way, it is about a lot deeper issues than it originally comes off to be, which is what makes her an awesome writer. From all of the 2 books that I have now read of hers, it's the same thing every time in that respect. Of course, the stories are always different. But I love the way that she takes what is generally a serious issue and turns it so that you are able to really comprehend it, and you see it through another set of eyes, because you're experiencing it kind of along with the main character. Anyway, the characters in this book were awesome. I loved the spin on social media that they do. Obviously, they couldn't use, Facebook or MySpace or stuff like that, so they made one, and what is it? I don't even remember what it was called. I knew like 2 days ago, but anyways, it's basically a Facebook, but it's called something else so that you aren't infringing on copyright issues. Yeah, so I love that is incorporated in it, and I love the spin and the take that it has on friendship, and what friendship really is, and what friendship takes, and how to be a good friend. I mean, shit goes down with Ruby and her supposed best friend, and you're like, to her best friend through the book, because it's like, really, do friends really do that to each other? No. So then you question, how good Ruby is at judging people. But then she makes awesome new friends, and she learns how to really come into herself and be herself, not herself as a part of her mother, but herself as an entirely different person. And she discovers what her true self is, and what she can and can't do, and it's a really great coming of age story, really. And the thing I love about Sarah Dessen's books is that all of the characters are fully developed. I mean, you come off thinking that one character is one thing, and then you learn a lot about them and discover that they are something completely different than you originally thought, or they're the same as what you thought, but there's a lot more to them, and then you like them more. But, yeah. So, I don't know. If you haven't read a Sarah Dessen book, guys, you really need to go out. I am really late to the bandwagon, which means you are even later, unless, of course, you're ahead of me on the bandwagon and you've read all of her stuff. Lock and Key, awesome book. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is one of her books where, like, old characters from previous books make appearances, and I just don't know because I haven't read all of her previous books. But anyways. Until next time, guys, this is my attempt at a 5-minute review. We may go a little long. I apologize, but I'm trying not to rant and babble. Don't know if I did it too well. But anyways, until next time, guys, thanks for stopping by the new channel and making the turnover. And I will see you all soon, okay? Bye! Mm-hmm.